Today I'll be talking about how to cast a Baitcaster fishing reel, and there are several different kinds of fishing reels, so I'll go over them first before talking about how to use the most complicated one. First, you have a Spincast, which is like a Barbie rod or a Spider-Man pole, and there's some more advanced ones, but usually children or people who have never fished before will start with this one, and then a lot of times you'll move on next to a spinning reel. This is a spinning reel. This is also used by beginner anglers, but also used by the top tier pros. Everyone who fishes uses one of these because you can only throw super light lures on this, unlike a Baitcaster. And then for the most complicated to use, you have the Baitcaster. This is used by everyone who is into fishing, everyone who likes to throw different stuff, because this handles heavier lures way better than a spinning reel does. There's dozens of companies that make these, so I will now go over what to do when you buy one to have it set up to have the best experience before using it. First thing you'll do is see a dial-like clicker on the side of the reel. First, you'll put this to the highest number to make the reel's brakes as tight as possible. Then, you will feel the spool itself and wiggle it back and forth, and if you hear this clicking sound, that means you need to tighten the spool tension knob on the right side until there's no longer any movement in the spool. Once you have done both of those things, your reel is set up, and now you just have to learn how to use it. Now that you know about the different kinds of fishing reels and what a Baitcaster is, I've got my GoPro on my chest so you can see a close-up of what the reel looks like. Now that you have a lure tied on, if you're new to using a Baitcaster, you want to press the button and see that the lure falls. So when you're brand new, what you want to do is you want to have the lure about halfway up, and you want to tighten this spool tension on the side pretty tight, so then whenever you press the button, there's no movement in the spool at all. The line doesn't fall, but when it's looser, the line freely falls. But when you're brand new, you want to have it super tight so there's no give at all. And now what you want to do is you put your thumb right here on the thumb button, you press it in, and when you press it in, the line won't go anywhere because you have it so tight. Once you have your thumb on the spool, you go back like you were to cast any other rod, and then right when you get to right here, when the rod is almost straight up but it's at an angle like this, you take your thumb off. So it'd be like this, you like whip it. And then right when you whip it, right where you want to put the most force into it, you take your thumb off of the spool so it lets the line go. But right before the lure hits the water or the land, whatever you're practicing or fishing on, you want to put your thumb back on the spool to prevent the line from running out. So here's a demonstration. And you put your thumb in it right before it hits the ground. And now you're not going to get any casting distance whenever you have the spool tension this tight, but when you're learning how to do it, you want to have it this tight so you don't backlash. A backlash is whenever the spool is spinning too fast for the line to get off of it in time. So that means there's going to be way too much extra line here. I'll throw up a few pictures of what a backlash looks like right now. This happens to everyone, even me after I've been fishing for my whole life. You will get backlashes. You'll hit a tree when you go back or something, and it just happens. Now, what you want to do after you have done the cast, you want to slowly loosen the spool tension down to where the lure is just barely falling a little bit. As you can see here in the video, this is when I press the button, this starts falling, but it's not fast enough to where it's just going to instantly hit the ground. And then what that allows you to do is get a lot more casting distance. Once again, whenever you have this more loose, you have to make sure you're putting your thumb back on the spool of line before your lure hits the ground. So one more time, you put your thumb on it, you go back, forward, let go, and right before it's the ground, put it on again. This type of reel lets you get the most distance, and it is the best to use once you're proficient in it, so it's worth learning how to use if you want to fish a lot. So that is how you use a Baitcaster, and I went over the different kinds of reels as well. So thanks for watching.